everyone, today I'll be doing a solo Grandmaster Hollowed Lair with Hunter. For my loadout, I'll be using top tree with Marksman's Dodge. For kinetic, I'll be using the Power of Will's Little Horde with the Solar Bow Tyranny of Heaven. Next, for the heavy, I'll be using Tarantula with Box Breathing. For my helmet, I'll be using double linear fusion ammo finder, 10 mobility with shield break charge. Next, I'll be using blast radius, unstoppable fusion with overload bow. For the exotic, I'll be using the 6 coyote with double void damage resistance and 10 mobility and protective light. For the legs, I'll be using 5 mobility, fusion rifle, linear fusion rifle scavenger, powerful friends, and the arc mod I'm forced to use to get 20 plus mobility. Next, I'll be using the particle deconstruction, 5 mobility, and a mod to reduce the class ability cooldown when using your class ability. As you guys know, I decided to go for the top tree instead of bottom tree. You guys know me, I'm fed up with using the bottom tree hunter for this season and just want to try something new. Even though maybe it wasn't the best idea because I was having a little bit trouble, especially at the boss fight, but then later I guess I got used to it. Now, first things first, we are going to take down all the champions. This video is a platinum rank. If you do choose to go for bottom tree and skip these ads champions, then go for it. I don't really blame you. Because this Nightfall is pretty tough, but it can be a bit bothering, which I will talk about that later. Now, there are a couple of Stalkers and Raiders and one unstoppable champion from the right side. Now, when you do defeat these Stalkers, they will spawn these cute baby innocent little scorns, or we like to call them Screebs, which they can one-shot you when they hit you. Not even joking or over-exaggerating. Yep, these Screebs are mainly tickers from Gears of War, where you go insane mode and they can one-shot you. So that's basically what it is. So if you guys play Gears of War 2 and you guys know tickers, then that's basically what it's gonna go for this route. So when you do defeat Stalkers, these mini tickers, I mean Screebs, will spawn and they can one-shot you. And yes, you can use the box breathing to do massive DPS, especially with the box breathing. Now I will push a bit further and then go back so I can clear down all these annoying Screebs or these tickers. So yeah, these cute, adorable, dangerous Screebs, like I said, they can one-shot you. Now here's the weirdest thing. So I was testing it on Hero, and the Screebs seems to one-shot you on Hero Nightfall. Also on Legend, and of course Master. Now what really bugs me is why doesn't one-shot you in Hero? Like, that's ridiculous. So I feel like they do need to nerf the Screebs. I'm not talking about the Grandmaster, but for Hero and Legend it should not one-shot you. Master, yes. Grandmaster, alright, but still it is very powerful. And the one thing I like about these Screebs is they can go under the floor, and they still do. Even after the patch, they still can go under the walls or through the walls, and they can be so annoying. Now this Overlord champion is very, very annoying. Now the big difference between the Vex champion is this Scorn Overload champion loves to move around and shoot these arcs, which they track you. And I'm trying to hide and make sure I can do some DPS. You can also use the Will's Little Horde to do DPS as well. So I'm just trying to be very careful because it does love to spam a lot of arc. If you do put concussive dampener, it would make Overload champions much easier. But well, we all saw the Overload champion just fly, like, no, really up high. I do apologize for that. Once you clear down the Overlord champion, you can go and do DPS at the spawns of the ads. So another thing I was mentioning is the overload champions, right? So if you do put concussive dampener, then the overload champions will be much easier and basically a big joke. But because there's a lot of ads I shoot void, and the boss fight involves with the void grenades, which you will see very soon, not now, won't be talking about it at the moment since we don't really see them. Mainly we're seeing raiders and stalkers and mini tickers or Screebs, so, or we can just call them lurkers, my bad for that. But I do highly recommend to put double void resistance, and like I said, everyone's different, everyone's playstyle is different. Protective light is a big must, to be honest, so if you do have protective light and if you're too stubborn to use it, then just use it, or if you don't want to, then alright, you know, it is your choice, but I would recommend to just use protective light, especially for this GM with these void grenades that can one-shot you less than a second. Then things can be really dangerous. Now just to let everyone know, I am putting double void resistance, and even with double void resistance, it can still melt me and it's ridiculous. So yeah, if you guys thought the acolytes throwing fire at you was bad, then you're going to be so disappointed and angry because the void grenades can one-shot you. Even if you look at it, you can get so melted. Now if you don't have any void resistance, looking at it will destroy you, will one-shot you back to orbit, or your fire team has to revive you. Now I am trying to take down this mini boss with the box breathing. Then I will deal with the unstoppable champions. Well, there are 2 of them and a lot of them teleport a lot. So be aware the unstoppable champions teleport. Just let everyone know, because I know someone's gonna make a comment like, Blitz, they teleport at me, what do I do? So if they do teleport on you, just always hear your surroundings of where the unstoppable champion will be teleporting. Now in this video, I don't think it did teleport, or maybe it did, I'm not entirely sure, but if it does, I will mention it in my commentary. Now take down the first unstoppable champion as much as you can. Highly recommend, so life can be a little easier, because now there is this raider, this scorn sniper, which it can one-shot you, well, two-shot you, and it is extremely dangerous. Now the snipers in this Nightfall are very toxic. Without protective light, they can one-shot you, but at the same time they can two-shot you even without it, depending on the resistance you have, especially on Hunter. Now, another reason why I put double void resistance is because of the snipers as well. That way it won't one-shot me. Now I'm just patiently waiting for the unstoppable champion, and now it's just having trouble going up to the stairs. So if this happens, that means the boss, it's a possibility that he will teleport, and he did. He teleported at me. So the boss teleported at me, and it was actually a good teleportation, so thank you Bungie for that. If the boss teleports you, then you can just make this unstoppable champion a big joke, because you could just go up here, you know, do critical headshots, especially with box breathing with the tarantula. This can make life easier. Well, for me, maybe for you, depending everyone's playstyle. But once we take down a champion, I'm gonna go back and pick up some ammo. Now I will do some time skip of me picking up ammo just to let everyone know, and some time skips of the ogre tank room. Well, not tank room, the ogre tanky room, because the ogre has so much health and it's super annoying. Alright, I was just scouting, I was just looking for ammo, and now there are a couple of raiders, a couple of ads that I do need to take down. So be aware there are 2 snipers. There's one on the left, one in the inside the building from the right side. And Always remember to take down the burrows, but they do respawn back after a minute or so. I lost count. I don't really remember. So once you take down these stalkers where they spawn tickers, I mean Screebs, my bad, excuse me. You can go and actually just go to the next area, which is the walker room or the walker spider room. And there are the last remaining ads. Now there is a Screeb on the top left side, but you can ignore him, so he is completely harmless. He won't go walk around to attack, well, to one-shot you. So now I'm just taking down these ads, these lurkers, or these scorn ads, you know, names here and there. Now we can actually go to the next section. And this is when things can be a bit dangerous and a little bit frustrating. The spider room, it's a bit RNG of the snipers, if they're gonna snipe you right away or not. It's a bit annoying, to be honest, and it's also RNG if the overload champion is going to immune the unstoppable. And sometimes it doesn't, and sometimes it does. And then there's RNG where sometimes the overload champion will stand on the back right side, which is good. Or sometimes he just goes and stays on the left side, which is not good. Now, because the unstoppable champion, you know, DPS didn't go so well, I want to take down the sniper, because if you don't take down this sniper, then he is going to snipe you while you're trying to do DPS at the unstoppable champion. Happened to me many times, and it's very, very annoying. Now, another thing I like to mention is sometimes I get one-shot by these snipers, even with protected light. Sometimes. It's just kind of buggy. These snipers are kind of buggy, to be honest. Maybe it's just me, or maybe I didn't have protective light, but I swear, sometimes I get one shot for no reason. Like, it's so random. I'm like standing right here, right? And then I get one shot. Well, a little bit back away, not at this particular spot. And it could be a bit annoying, so I was trying to see if I can get this sniper. I don't trust him. And at the same time, I saw this unstoppable champion, you know, open for DPS, so I just want to make sure this raider could be taken down, because I don't want mess ups, especially dealing with this room. It could be a bit annoying and a bit RNG of where the overload champion will be attacking. Because sometimes if you are trying to do DPS as a champion, right, the overload champion, right, it's going to be spamming this arc mini bombs, and it's so annoying. Like right now, you can see sometimes he can shoot further away, which could lead to death. So when dealing with overload champions like this one, it's always best to move around, not stand still. Especially we don't have concussive dampener or double. And you can see here, this overload champion is not really happy. It's pretty pissed off. I mean, I don't blame him. I mean, I do want to go for platinum rank, so this overload champion is going to make my life very miserable in this video. And if you guys think dealing with one overload champion is frustrating, try dealing with two overload champions shooting arc at you at the same time, and immune, and also using a void immune shield at you at the same time, well, on themselves. Have you ever encountered that? And if you haven't, then oh my god, you are so lucky. And if you have, then you probably understand the frustration. So like I said, dealing with one overload champion isn't so bad. You just have to keep moving. And I always pretend that this overload champion is a barrier champion from Proving Grounds, since it loves to shoot, even though you are overloading the champion with a bow, which is kind of ridiculous that it could still be shooting and spamming crazy accurately. And honestly, it is just horrible. Now, before I start to mess around with the Stalker, I need to take down the last sniper. Now, once you take down the corrupted raider sniper, now it's a bit easier. Now you can go and push and use Will of the Horde, but be aware of the spam of the Stalker's accuracy of void grenades, which they can one-shot you. And be aware of the mini Screebs or the tickers, which they can one-shot you. So, like I said, these Screebs can one-shot you even in Master, even in Legend, even in Hero mode. I had a team on Hero mode. They all died from Screebs more than 10 times, especially at the boss fight. So I feel like they made Screebs a bit overpowered. But like I said, GMs, I guess it's okay, but still it is frustrating and annoying, especially going for platinum rank. This can be a nightmare. Now I am planning to only spawn the ads and not the spider tank, and to do that you must not complete the plate. So make sure you stay on top of the plate, but not all the way down, just a little bit. That way the spider won't spawn and then the door will be open from the back. So you can see the plate's not fully completely down. So now the door is open, so I can go back here to my safe spot and deal with the snipers, stalkers, spamming the void wall of death or the void grenade of death, and they will be spamming a lot of void, which can be super frustrating. So now, because we're using a bow, we can actually just take down the stalkers, and they will spawn a Screeb, but they will explode. Since we are not near the Screebs, they will walk around for a bit and then they will explode. Now sometimes Screebs won't explode, but I think it's when you're near or when the Screeb sees you and then it starts to not explode. Now, before I start to do some DPS at the champions, there is a lot of stalkers or a lot of ads that are throwing void grenade. Now, I was debating, should I just ignore them and just take down and stop all the champion, or should I just try to use Will of the Horde? Like, it's really annoying decision what I have to do because I can't see anything. You know, I don't know if Will of the Horde is getting the stalkers, or maybe it got them, but then the stalkers just moved to the other side. Anyway, I was a bit annoyed, so I just decided to just do DPS at the Unstoppable Champion. And of course, I accidentally switched to my Will of the Horde. But then I get annoyed of that noise, because every time they throw a grenade, it makes this really huge noise that really hurts my ears. So I was like, okay, well, let me see if I can take him down. And take down the stalkers, and hopefully I can avoid the annoying grenade noise, because it would drive me crazy, to be honest. Especially if you have the sound to number 10 in Destiny. It really hurts my ears, but I do want to make it loud so I can hear it and be, you know, and stay away from it as much as possible. Now we can actually do some DPS and Unstoppable Champion, so this is gonna take a while. I am just gonna spam bow since my heavy is very, very low. So I'm gonna do a time skip for this. After I do take down the Unstoppable Champion, I want to look for heavy, so I'm gonna do a time skip for this because this part's really boring. So I finally found some heavy, and now I can deal with the Unstoppable Champion, and then we can just go and take down the Spider Walker. Now I was double checking if there are any raiders, because sometimes I do take them down with Will of the Horde, or sometimes I don't. So you can see I was gonna take down, but then a Stalker. I was like, wow, unbelievable. I thought I killed you. I thought I destroyed the Stalker, but I didn't. So now I have to deal with a Stalker and a Sniper. So this is just perfect for me, you know, worst luck ever. And for some reason I was just aiming so bad. You know what? I think I was just tired. I think I was just exhausted and I just wanted to sleep. You know, it was late. I just want to go to bed and watch Dragon Ball Z. That's all I want to do. Can I watch the Cell Saga? Bungie. Alright, so now it's just scouting, looking, making sure everything is good. No raiders sneaking up on me with the one-shot sniper. Now I actually can do some DPS on Unstoppable Champion. Now be aware that I am using double linear fusion rifle, and even though I'm using double, I'm still running out of heavy and it's ridiculous. That's why I didn't put any grenade launcher ammo finder, because there's really no need for this Nightfall. For corrupted, yeah, you know, it's necessary, but for this one, no, not at all. Mainly you will want heavy a lot than the Will of the Horde. Of course you do need Will of the Horde for the boss fight, but I had so much that I didn't need grenade launcher ammo finder. Mainly heavy for champions. Now if you are going for the non-platinum rank, then you know, you might as well put grenade launcher finder if you are planning to skip champions with bottom tree. Now if you are going for platinum, then highly recommend for double linear fusion. Now I did claim the plate, right, and not a walker will spawn, just a walker. So I clear all the ads, the champions, you know, yay! What else could go wrong? Nothing over here, so you can actually jump. Well, not double jump, because a double jump, the boss can't see you. So that was a big mistake I did. You can jump and then shoot Will of the Horde. And that's basically what you can do. So I will do a time skip for this, so you can stand on the stairs, and then you can use Will of the Horde. The power of Will of the Horde. And that's basically what you do. You just wait, Will of the Horde, wait, Will of the Horde. Alright, I'm gonna do a time skip for this. Once I take down the spider or the walker, tank, etc., I know this mini boss has many nicknames. Now I'm just looking for ammo, because now we have to deal with another unstoppable champion. Yeah, isn't that fun? I get to take down another unstoppable champion. And trust me, in this Nightfall, you would rather take down Unstoppable over Overload. So now over here, I'm going to be using my top tree super and just spam a bit of heavy as much as I can to deal with the Unstoppable champion. I decided to dodge, and hopefully I can make this boss go on low health. I did another dodge and I just ran for my life here. I also did an additional dodge because I did not want these stalkers to throw grenades, and ha, in your face, stalker. You know, I took down the stalker and then it dropped its own void grenade. Yeah, let's see how you feel getting burned from your own void grenades. If only that could happen, but no, it doesn't really happen, to be honest. But oh my god, tickers. Okay, I mean Screebs. So yeah, sometimes these Screebs can walk on walls. And they could go through walls. Didn't Bungie say they patched the Screebs going under the ground and through walls? They haven't fully completed. I mean, it's okay, you know, it's really hard to do those coding bugs, to be honest. But now you know to be super aware that these scripts can sometimes go under the ground or through the walls. Now you saw that protective light has saved me. So even though I have double void resistance, protective light, the void grenades can still melt you. So you must be very, very cautious. And of course this Wrath is giving me a bit of trouble. Like seriously, what is... Like seriously, chill. Like I'm trying to go for platinum rank and you're being immune by my Will-O-the-Wisp shots. Seriously, what is going on with this dude? This guy is immune to my Will-O-the-Wisp shots. It doesn't make sense. Once I do take down the Wrath, now we're gonna be dealing probably the most annoying area where we need to capture 2 plates and deal the most boring tanky ogre. But first things first, we have to deal with the Stalkers and the mini Screebs. So when you do shoot a Will-O-the-Wisp, the Screeb will get destroyed from the shot, but sometimes it doesn't. Just to let everyone know, so be very careful when using Will-O-the-Wisp up close towards the Stalkers. Now there are 2 raiders, 2 snipers. So right now I am just using Will-O-the-Wisp and hoping that my shots can at least make this sniper move. But of course the Overload champion wasn't really happy. It was starting to shoot a lot of arc on the far right side. Now I was just browsing because I do know that I am missing another raider. Well, 2 of them. One won't, you know, show up, and then the other one's hiding from the left side. So I was just trying to see if I can find the sniper. Oh, there he is. There's the little raider. Isn't he just adorable? He just loves to play PvP in a PvE activity where he just snipes and then hides, snipes and then hides. So we took down the one sniper that could ruin everyone's run. But then we have another raider, another sniper, which we need to take down. I can't take down the Overload champion until I take down this sniper. So you can see I don't have any heavy, so that's bad for me. I need this sniper to move, please, for the guardians. Move. Okay, thank you. Now we have to deal with 2 Overload champions. Now this is gonna be very annoying because there are these 2 champions and I'm backing away a little bit just to see if the Overload champion will, you know, the second one from the right side will go back to its little bubble area, because I don't want to deal with 2 champions at the same time during, you know, during DPS. So this is going to be very annoying because I need to take down the first Overload champion very fast or to make sure the second overload champion doesn't interfere my DPS, which it can happen. And I honestly really hate it when it happens, because usually what I do is I just reset and try again, because it's just not worth doing DPS at both champions at the same time at this specific spot. It's not a good idea. I tried it, didn't work out. It's not fun. Maybe if I was on Warlock, you know, it could work, you know. Yeah, it could work with Warlock. But for Hunter, no, not really. On this spot with two overload champions attacking you, not a good idea. So spam Will the Horde, spam grenades to take down the overload champion. Make sure you are behind the walls when doing DPS. You do not want to stand still with the overload champion. You have to keep moving. Just pretend it's a barrier champion where you do need to take little cover behind walls, right? Just pretend it is a barrier champion that so happens to be an overload, and just go behind covers when doing DPS, especially with a bow. Now if you're using a fast bow, this would be a little bit different, because you can definitely take down overload champion much more faster, but I would prefer explosive payload, so just in case if they're both together, you can stagger the second overload champion and the first at the same time. So now I'm just browsing, and now we're gonna be capturing the two plates a bit. So each one has their spawn, so what I should have done here is maybe Will the Horde at the middle, but I did back away since I don't trust anything in this Nightfall. So there will be Stalkers that will spawn and then move to the middle. So you can just use the power of Will the Horde to take down all these Stalkers, all these Screebs, and sometimes they do walk through the walls at the bottom where the plate is. They always do that, by the way, so it's nothing really surprised there. So it is a bit buggy that these Stalkers like to walk through the walls, especially where the plate's at. Now I did hear a Stalker, so I did back away, scout, browse a bit, and then I heard another one, you know, one just clipped through the wall. It's like, okay, I'm gonna go, you know, cheat and go through the wall, and then I'm gonna try to throw a nade. Yeah, really, really annoying. And thankfully Will the Horde, you know, DPS, the Stalker, and the second one too. There was two of them from the right side, so I was pretty happy about it. Now you're probably wondering why I'm aiming with my tarantula. Well, it has this highlight, and because my TV is small, I can't really see anything well, so I'm using the tarantula to just aim and look and see if there's any highlights. So that's the only good thing of what I like about the tarantula I'm using, since it can highlight the enemies if I can't see anything. And now I am capturing the plate a bit and taking down the Stalkers. And of course there is a raider, so be aware that it can one-shot you. They are dangerous. So next what I'm going to do over here is capture the first plate. And when you do capture the first plate, then you'll have waves of ads to spawn, and then you'll have these two raiders that will spawn where you see here. I use my tether since I know where the raiders are going to be spawned. Now sometimes I do take them down, usually one. So right now I am going to be throwing my nade. Hopefully I can take down a couple of raiders. And I took down 2, so that's a good sign. And it's just 1 arc raider and 1 solar. Now, like I said, be aware of the void grenades since they love to spam grenades. These annoying stalkers, especially when they can spawn a Screeb. So you can see there, it threw all the way in the back. Like, how can it do that? Super unfair. I think the void grenades are too OP in this Nightfall. I think they should be nerfed a little bit. And that, you know, it's my opinion, you know. I mean, I'm using double void resistance and they still can melt you. Now imagine if I didn't have any void resistance. If I just look at it, done, back to orbit. That's basically what's gonna happen if you don't have void resistance in this Nightfall. Make sure you tell your teammates to have void resistance, because if you don't, or if they don't want to, or they say, well, because of dampener with unstoppable and overload, la la la, they mostly are going to get destroyed by the void. So like I said, highly recommend for the void resistance. Now I'm just spamming tarantula. And there is a solar one, which it is very dangerous, so be super careful with this guy. He has a mind of his own, he's very aggressive. I don't like him and I don't trust him. I did have moments where he did, you know, took me back to orbit. Because he did like the most cheapest bungee move ever. Like I was behind a wall and he still killed me. It didn't make any sense, honestly. But we took him down, yay, and now we can actually go and capture the plate. Well, I would say halfway. So now ads will spawn, so I decided to use Will of the Horde and then just back away. And basically just repeat everything, you know, capture the plate midway, add spawn, back away, Will of the Horde, and over again. Until we can spawn the most boring, tankiest ogre throughout this entire Nightfall. If you guys thought the boss is tanky, then I don't know why would anyone say the boss is tanky. This mini boss is more tankier than the final boss, and that's just so random. Why did they make the ogre more tanky than the final boss? Doesn't make sense to me, to be honest. A mini boss like him shouldn't be that tanky, but hey, you know, it's just a mini rant. An opinion for this area. Now I am collecting orbs to get, you know, my super. So finally I will be capturing the plate soon, so I was just browsing, looking, debating what to do. And now finally we're gonna be spawning the most boring ogre ever. So if just using bows, I think it takes around 400 bows, 300, I don't remember. I one time counted for giggles and it wasn't very fun. I remember it was 400, 500, but like I said, I don't remember, to be honest. It's a blur. So this is when things could be slow, and there are ways to use Will of the Horde and then spam the bow to do DPS much more faster to the ogre. But the problem is this boss can shoot electric on you if you do push a bit far from the area where he's standing. And this boss likes to slowly move from the left corner. Then it slowly moves to the right corner. That's basically what the boss does, and he is so boring. Alright, if he just stands there, then you could shoot the Wilderhorde. But then guess what happens? He slowly stomps from the right side. He's like, fee, fi, four, thumb. I'm gonna go walk in the middle, here and there, and then walk all the way from the left side. Just a troll. So yeah, this boss is so annoying. So I'm gonna cut to the chase for this because I will do a time skip. When you do a quarter of a bar, you'll have an overload, the first overload to spawn. You can take down the overload champion, but honestly it's not worth it. I would just forget about it, clear down the ads, take down the ogre, and then once you clear down all the ads and deal with the overload champions in a mini safe spot. But make sure you take down all the stalkers because they are going to mess up your DPS on the 2 overload champions. So like I said, depending how much DPS you do at the ogre, overload champions will spawn along with ads, waves of ads. And like I said, this is probably really annoying because this boss loves to move all the way from the right side, and if you do want to do DPS, you have to strafe through a wall, shoot, go behind a wall, Wilderhorde, and it's just really annoying and it's just not worth it. Anyway, I will do a mini time skip. So when you do like a half mini bar health, then the champion will appear, right? You can have the chance to take down the overload champion right now, but like I said, it's not really worth it, especially with console aim assist. And if you can't see really well, it's not worth it. So just keep taking down the ads and the ogre. I mean, I just think that's better. It's just too complicated with console aim assist and the frustration of that. And I can't see anything. It's just not worth it. Now I'm gonna do another mini time skip. So now the boss is at mid halfway, almost at the last bar, and then this is when the next unstoppable overload champion that will spawn, and a wave of ads, which highly recommend to take all the ads down. Before you take down the ogre, always make sure you take down all the stalkers, all these stasis ads that like to melee you. Take down all the ads and ignore the overload champions for now. So now I'm going to do another mini time skip. So basically I'm going to be spamming bow, Wilderhorde, even though I have very low Wilderhorde, to take all the stalkers down, and then I'm going to take down the ogre. So after spending 25 or 30 minutes of my life with this very boring, annoying ogre, now I actually can, work with the overload champions, which is going to be very frustrating and very annoying. I was looking and browsing and I saw a lot of stalkers here and there that I missed. I wasn't quite happy about it, so I was just trying to see if I could take them down with a bow and not interrupt the overload champions at the same time, because once they see you, they're gonna be spamming so much arc. It is very cheap, very toxic, and it's not fun experience. So you can see here I'm just trying to take down all these stalkers, anything, so they won't interrupt my DPS with the 2 overload champions. So I was just looking, browsing, I was like, okay, you know what, maybe it's a good time to do it now. So I turn invisible and then let the fun begin. So 2 overload champions will find you, and this is when things can be very toxic. So basically you have to go behind a wall and then stagger, go behind a wall and stagger, and this one took me a while. And at the same time I saw 2 stalkers and I don't trust them, because I feel like they can throw grenades. So if you do see them in sight, then take them down as quickly as possible, because first thing you don't want is them throwing a void grenade behind the wall where you're standing and then boom, back to orbit. Now there is a trick to deal with this Overload champion. You can use the power of Will of the Horde, but you need to stagger both champions at the same time. That way the second one won't throw a void immune shield for the first one, if that makes sense. So yeah, it is pretty confusing of what I'm talking about. So if you don't stagger both of them at the same time, one of them is gonna throw this void immune ability and you will have to shoot down this purple device, and it's not fun, you know. And you can see here that I was low on health, you know, I'm not a warlock, which I was very sad, so can't use a healing rift for this one. I mean, it would be nice if I could have a healing rift over here, but these Overload champions are so OP. They make the Vex Minotaurs Overload champions look like a joke compared to these guys. These guys are just so annoying. You know, you have to stagger both of them at the same time, and then of course this annoying Overload, right? It popped a void device, which I was not happy. And I was like, okay, come on, let me take down this Overload. Like, please, please, Traveler, no. And they also like to hide behind a wall, so this part could be really annoying. I remember I spent 30 minutes just staggering these Overload champions because I was just trying to figure out how they work, what they do, you know. Yeah, I'm not even joking. I had to spend like 30 minutes just spamming Overload over and over and over. And it was quite frustrating and very annoying. I would say around 25 minutes. I don't think it was 30. So when it's one Overload champion, you know, it's not so bad, you know. So this part can be really easy. It's just when dealing with two Overload champions can be a headache, can be annoying, and you have to be careful because you can see here that this Overload was spamming this arc and I was standing still too much. So it was having this arc bombs hit me and I was on red health. So you have to keep moving, which is so annoying. I don't like that. You know, I have to keep moving and shoot with a bow. Usually you do this with a barrier champion. Why do I have to do this on an Overload champion? It's already hard enough, this Nightfall. And it wants me to treat this Overload like a barrier champion, like Proving Grounds, for example. It's like this Overload champion is like the Cabal barrier champion. Every time it shoots, it's like this arc attack, which it can melt me if I stand still. And it's so annoying. And now I have to do DPS again because this Overload champion's not cooperating and keeps moving behind that wall. And it's really starting to bother me. So yeah, I don't like this Overload Scorn champions. I don't like that they move like that. And there is nowhere to breathe, you know. There's no breathe, nothing. You have to basically melt the Overload champion fast to make your life easier. Or you need a really, really fast bow to take down these Overload champions. So yeah, the options are very, very strict for this Nightfall, and I don't like that. Imagine if I didn't have a bow. Then this would be complicated and very annoying. You can see the Overload champ say, okay, I'm gonna hide over here. Oh, gonna slowly move. And I hate that. I hate that the Overload champion hides behind a wall and then slowly walks. Either walks in the back or front. So once I take down the Overload champion, now I can actually go to the last room. So this part I will do so many times, especially dealing with unstoppable champions. So first things first, we need to deal with the lurkers, since they can melt you with the solar attack. Now, just to let everyone know, there are 2 snipers, 2 raiders that highly recommend to take down. Now, if you're on bottom tree and you don't care about platinum, then this doesn't really matter. You might as well skip this video, because mainly this video is about getting platinum rank. So this doesn't really matter if for a non-platinum, but I will say that highly recommend to take down the raiders. And I was trying to shoot that barrel. For some reason my bow wasn't shooting the barrel. I was a bit annoyed by that. And of course this machine is blocking the way of the raiders. Or the sniper. Now I was just using the Will of the Horn. I was hoping I can shoot it at the right angle. And then this annoying sniper moved. You can see that I sniped him, right? But because of aim assist. See, this is why it's not worth to do overload DPS from, you know, the tank, the ogre room, right? Where overload champions spawn. It's just not worth it. Seriously. Console aim assist messes up your DPS from far distance with dealing with the overload champions. It's just not worth it. And then I'm trying to take down a raider, right? Nope, can't do that. Console aim assist. For some reason, my controller, my aiming was moving because this animation, the one is like twirling, you know, clockwise, is making my gun, my weapon, move by itself for some odd reason. And that's why I missed the critical headshot for the sniper. So yeah, it's frustrating, and like I said, it's not worth doing DPS at overload champions from far distance, especially the tanky ogre room. So now I had to deal with this annoying sniper because I missed him. I could have get him, you know, make my life more easier, but nope. Console aim assist. Like, no, Blitz, console aim assist. Remember Blitz? Console aim assist. I'm like, yes, I remember. You don't have to, you know, bring it up all the time I try to snipe or take down snipers or anything. Alright, so once I almost take down the raider. Okay, finally I take down a sniper. Alright, so this is probably going to be the most annoying, frustrating overload champion, well, one of them you have to deal with. Now this overload champion loves to move all the way from the right side and then all the way from the left side. Now this champion will go behind a wall. He always does. He never just stands still like in this spot. Alright? He's gonna move and try to hide when he has low on health. Either that, or he's gonna move all the way from the left side and hide behind a wall where you can't really shoot him. Then you have to start all over your DPS. You can see here, he's doing that method. He's going behind a wall. Then he's gonna move back like a little scaredy cat, or he's not. I was happy he did. Usually he doesn't do this. Sometimes he doesn't do it, and sometimes he doesn't. And excuse my poor aim, but you know, console aim assist. For some reason my bow is moving by itself from this weird bizarre animation where it's going clockwise, right, on the machine. So I don't know what to say about it. I mean, all I can say is frustration, and you just have to be patient dealing with this overload champion. So you know what I had to do? I had to bait this overload champion, and this is so dangerous. I don't recommend you do it. But I just had no choice, and I was just being so impatient. I was just fed up with this Nightfall, especially, like I said, especially on console aim assist. I just got really annoyed. You know, he's moving again. I'm like, no, 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 not today. I was just annoyed. So finally, we dealt with the overload champion, and now we're gonna deal with unstoppables. It's gonna be so fun. Oh my god. Just love it. So as I said before, I will do mini time skip dealing with unstoppable champions because it did took some time. So now I'm gonna do a little mini tether, you know, throw a nade, will the horde them to run away from my life. And of course wait for this machine to move and not, you know, have a death upon it. Now I was just browsing and looking, and it looked like I can go up here, so now I'll be clearing down a couple of ads. There are a bit stalkers that you can easily take down with the bow. And now there are 2 unstoppable champions. Now they do walk very slow, so you can actually spam a lot of heavy to take them down. So yeah, this is gonna take a while. You can see here, I'm trying to shoot him, but you know, aim assist. For some reason my linear was focusing on that stalker. And I was just a bit annoyed, like, come on, let me shoot this guy. Can I shoot him? Nope, can't do it. So yeah, it's gonna take a while. So I'm gonna do a mini time skip for this one. Once I, you know, take down the first unstoppable, now I had to deal with the second one, which was so annoying. But first things first, I need to collect some heavy since I ran out of heavy again. Usually this spot is the best, but like I said, he can shoot arc, then it's not gonna be fun, then things can go bad. So you will see that I got a little impatient and then it started to shoot arc at me, which I was not a fan of. Alright, I'm gonna do a mini time skip. Once I take down the last unstoppable champion, there is 2 raiders I need to take down. First is the left side, which is really hard to see. You know, I had to use my tarantula linear fusion because I can't see anything. Yeah, this is so fun. Oh my god. Sniping a bow. Shooting a bow from long range. Imagine using an auto rifle for this. Yeah, that's gonna help so much. So there is the last raider. So I have to go down and take him down with the linear. So fun. I'm just trying to do critical headshot, but for some reason on tarantula it's like, nah, not today, Blitz. Yay, finally the boss fight. I'm just browsing, looking. I don't know why I stopped there. I think I was just tired. I was like, alright, let me just go and go to the boss fight. So the boss fight is gonna be a bit frustrating and annoying. I'm trying to figure out a word to begin for this nightfall. Well, let's think of the positive side. At least Hollowed Lair is not dark, where you can't even see the Screebs walking around lurking to try to one-shot you. Just imagine if this boss fight was pitch black, just like in Destiny 1, but then there's Screebs walking around lurking to one-shot you. Oh, that would be fun, wouldn't it? All I can say is the boss, right? He's gonna be shooting arc that can one-shot you, especially if you don't have protective light. So I don't recommend to mess around with this boss. And I am just crying, using the emo to see where he is, because you know he can stomp me, which wouldn't be fun. I mean, imagine I'm there, he stomps me back to orbit. Wouldn't that be a fun day for everyone? No, it wouldn't. So when you turn invisible, the boss just becomes not intelligent, and then he just shoots on that direction. Now he did saw me, so if he sees you and shoots the thunder, then you just go the opposite direction. You go the opposite direction and he's just gonna shoot in that direction. Now I was trying to make the boss move a different, well, the opposite, But because it didn't work out and the boss for some reason is moving on top of platforms for some odd reason, I had to deal with the Stalkers the most, I would say, the hard way, and I didn't like that. Now, a raider does spawn for this phase, especially at the right side. Before doing DPS at the boss, you must clear down all the ads, take down the raiders, etc. And then you can do DPS at the boss. So yeah, the raiders are so annoying. So there are two, by the way. They aren't so bad, but they can be very annoying. And the good news is they don't spawn a Screeb or Screeb. Those tickers where they can one-shot you. So that's the good news about these raiders. But they can one-shot you, especially the gold bar, which is not a fun experience. Now we can actually do DPS. And the next mini waves of ads will spawn at the spot where I'm standing. So now I'm just gonna go bow away, and bow away. So now ads will spawn, I back away a little bit, throw my nade, because this is when Stalkers spawn and the mini evil tickers, Screebs, which they can one-shot you. So I saw one, right? I'm like, not today, mini Screeb, I'm not gonna die from you. I jump over it and it will explode. So I was being super careful. And then of course I backed away. I was gonna do a finisher, but I don't trust him. So because I had a Will-O-The-Whore on the ground, I didn't use finisher at the Stalker. Another thing I'd like to mention is Stalkers don't spawn Screebs if you use a finisher. So it is nice to use finishers at the Stalkers if dealing with one of them or very few of them. But if there's like a ton of them in a group, then don't really recommend it at all. So now I'm gonna do DPS, spam the bow away, and bow away. And that's the only good thing about this boss fight. When using invisibility, this boss just doesn't have any intelligence at all, which is good. Of course, if you're on Warlock or Titan, this boss will always see you, so that's a different category, but I'm probably going to be talking about that another time, since this is the Hunter run. But I do want to mention that for the Warlock and Titan, the boss can see you, and you will have to be in a different spot to do DPS at the boss, and it's really frustrating. I have tried it for, just my test runs, and the boss is very smart on Warlock and Titan, so just to be aware, just let everyone know, if people wondering, can the boss see you if the boss is not intelligent at the boss room. Alright, so now we're going for the first wave of ads, and this is when things can go pretty bad. Now I'm going to be running around in a circle, and mainly what I'm doing here is I'm just going in circles, just shooting Will-O-The-Horde, and just take them down slow at a time. There's really no rush in this Nightfall, to be honest. You could just take your time, because here the good news is there's no dangerous champion. Usually Unstoppable, I would say, is the most dangerous. Overload for here is dangerous too, but you can get away from it quite easily, especially when running around. So now I was just browsing, just looking, trying to figure out where are these Stalkers. They're all spread, and I need to make sure I use Will-O-The-Horde and also be away from them, because when you kill Stalkers, then you spawn these Screebs, and like I said, they can one-shot you. It's not fun, and I'm using top tree, so I don't need to, pop a smoke and then melee. You know, that's the good news about being top tree for Hunter. But as you guys know, top tree, the invisibility isn't that long, and I don't really think I need invisibility too much, to be honest, for this boss fight. I mean, the invisibility I have is good enough for me, to be honest. You know, everyone's playstyle is different. And for me, it's good enough. You know, I can get away from stuff. I can make the boss, you know, not be so smart for top tree. So it isn't really so bad as I thought it was. But still, now we have to deal with the next wave of ads. It's the Overload Champion, where it spawns in the middle and then moves everywhere. It can move in the middle, left, right. So far I saw the boss is in the middle, but before I take down the Overload Champion, I have to take down all these ads, these stalkers, and this Overload Champion is very different, but like I said, I'll be talking about the Overload Champion later, not now, because basically I'm running around in circles trying to deal this annoying wave of ads, these stalkers especially. I saw one and I was going to use a finisher, but then for some reason this stalker catch up to me. Like, it was just so weird. I did hear the noises behind me, so I knew there was one following me, but I didn't think it was that close to me. Like, that was bizarre for me, because my mobility is 10, right? Isn't, like, why is the stalker running faster than me? It doesn't make any sense, you know? But I guess I'll talk about it another time. Like, I'm a little baffled that the stalker catch up to me for a hunter on tier 10 mobility. And it just doesn't make any sense. Compare for a warlock, you know, of course I can go much more faster for the hunter, but I'm a tier 10 hunter. How is the stalker catch up to me to melee me? Doesn't make sense at all. But anyway, you know, it's Bungie, you know, nothing I can do about it, so be aware that stalkers can catch up to you and they can try to melee you, so you have to be careful for that. And they throw grenades. Yes, not only they spawn these, you know, dangerous Screebs or these tickers, they can throw these one-shot deadly grenades. So yeah, I'm just being very careful. You're probably wondering why I'm just standing here, because I'm trying to hear the sound of the void grenades and also trying to hear the sound of the Overload Champion. And I was hearing that the Overload Champion wasn't close to me, so I could walk freely for a bit. And everything seems to be fine. I was like, wow, everything is perfectly fine, you know, nothing so bad. Now I actually can deal with the Overload Champion. Now this Overload Champion is very different. It's very aggressive. Like, if you guys thought the Overload Champions, the one that shoot arc, are annoying, you're gonna not like this one, because this one is 5 times more annoying and dangerous. Because, you know, remember where you can hide through walls, you know, behind the walls, I mean, dealing with the Overload Champions? Well, not this one. This one actually pushed towards you and is very aggressive. Now, just to let everyone know, I have died from this Overload boss, Overload Champion. It teleported, seriously. It just randomly just teleported behind me or to the side, and then it just one-shot me. Boom, done. It was just weird, because I swear it was on a different side. I was just running, and then he just popped out of nowhere and then just one-shot me. It didn't make any sense, but you need to back away a bit and then do DPS. That's basically what you have to do for the Overload Champion. I can't think of other ways, because this room is very, you know, very strict. I mean, there isn't really so much you can do. Of course, there is a cheese spot on top, but it's not worth it, to be honest. Especially on Hunter, it's just not worth it. So yeah, the power of Will of the Horde and the power of using the Tyranny bow. I seriously was gonna go for arc bow and solar linear, but the linear that I have, it's not that good, to be honest. Box breathing just makes life easier for this nightfall. It's just better than the solar one. I mean, that's just my opinion. So yeah, this... Did you see that? It clipped through the half of the floor. I don't even know anymore, guys. I have no explanation of why it does that. I don't know why it clipped through the floor. Like I said, this nightfall is buggy. Overload champion like this one is buggy. So remember when I said it teleported, right? Well, proof, example. You know, I knew it. I knew this Overload champion was buggy, right? And I knew there was something weird about it. So always be aware, and yeah, I'm taking so long to take down this annoying Overload champion. Yeah, I know. Blitz, you're taking so long, what's going on? I'm trying, but this Overload champion's being complicated. Okay, I was trying to go behind that little wall, but OMG, he is going way too fast. So I was like, no, I have to go back to this method. He was just so aggressive with me. This boss was not happy with me. He did not want to chill. You know, I was like, okay, come on, like, seriously, like, can I move on to the next phase? So when he's on critical health, you can use finisher, and the boss will use his thunder. And this will be a good time to go to the opposite direction. Now I'm trying not to remember in this part if he tethers or if he spawns out. I don't remember at the moment. So now I was just waiting for my dodge. You know, just in case I need it. And once my double dodge is full, now I actually can do some DPS at the boss. So yeah, this is so fun. I'm having the best day ever. Alright, so once I do amount of DPS and he goes immune, now I'm gonna be trying to take down this shield. I'm like, okay, what's going on? I shot a Wither Horde and it didn't. I didn't break the shield, so I got really lucky there. I'm not really sure what happened there. I did throw my nade. I did shoot a Wither Horde, and for some reason it didn't break the shield. Now I'm just waiting for my dodge and just looking where he is, because I didn't like where this was going, where the boss is now at a bad spot. And I was trying to make this boss move somewhere else, but he just kept moving the other side. I was like, no, I need to make him move the opposite direction. Not this side. Seriously, this boss has a mind of his own. So I was just looking, browsing, just to see where he's gonna walk. So now he used thunder. I was like, oh my god, that's not good. Not good, you know. This boss is being super unfair. He was spamming a lot of thunder. And then finally he's in the opposite direction. Now the bad news is I'm trying to remember which of the ads spawn. But for now, we'll be doing DPS at the boss. Now I'm just waiting for him to stand at the middle where I can easily take him down. And then the ads are spawning from the left side. So I did shoot a Wither Horde, took down the 2 raiders, so that was the good news. And then take down the Stalkers. And of course they were kinda throwing grenades at me, so I have to be super careful and one melee me. Wow, that's kind of unfair to be honest. Like seriously, in this run, I'm having a lot of stalkers melee me. It's kind of ridiculous. So now I'm going back to the other mini spot, especially if the boss cannot see you. So I'm just doing another dodge and use a finisher, which it was dangerous, but anyway, it wasn't looking good because, you know, the boss can shoot me. And I was trying to jump over the machine so the boss can't shoot me. So you saw it there. Then once I get enough dodge, you know, just cry and then just see where the boss is. Now I can go to the other spot. But this boss was looking at me. I turned invisible and he saw me. It was kind of odd. You know, he's not supposed to do that. He's supposed to go to the opposite direction and not be intelligent. You know? But he wasn't doing that, so now I have to try to go the opposite direction. And then I cry just to see where he is. And then go back to this direction. Then later, after I realized that it's gonna be the tether, and then ads will spawn from the right side. So bear with me, it was late, I was sleepy. Alright. So now I'm gonna be doing DPS at the boss until it will tether. So I'll do a mini DPS time skip since I'm just using a bow. Next the boss will be using the tether, and then now we'll have more ads spawn from the right side. So this can be a little tricky because I didn't will the horde in time, and then there is raiders. So yeah, this is gonna be fun. So now I was just crying. I was just trying to view where the boss is because I'm missing a couple of these raiders. I did not spawn kill, so that was my mistake. Always spawn kill the raiders, so I didn't do that, and here is the punishment I had to deal with. So always be careful and spawn kill the ads. Now there are stalkers in the way, and thankfully the boss is not really smart, so I could take down the stalker quite easily. Since we dealt with the waves, now I'm gonna make the boss spawn. Well, I'm gonna make the boss stomp because I actually really need the boss to go to the other side. I don't want him to shoot that side, so I make him stomp, make him look at me. I'm like, woohoo, look at me over here. Hey, listen, listen. And then I go to the opposite side. I was just waiting for my dodge so we can actually do some DPS at the boss. So yay, isn't this gonna be fun? And this is probably gonna be the next wave very soon. Now I'm just waiting for the boss to move in the middle a bit. So I'm gonna do DPS and then we'll be dealing with the next wave of ads. eventually, until I can do some DPS at the boss. If he can move in the middle, that would be really nice. I don't want to be too close to him because he's gonna stomp, then I have to go to the other direction, and that's not where I want to go. So once the boss is immune, this is when things can be tricky, and it is a debate for the player to use your super or not. For me, I decide not to use my super. I want to use my super when unstoppable champion spawns so I can clear down the ads, you know, ad control. Because I feel like for a top tree hunter, it's really tough to take down the stalkers and all these ads pushing towards you when the unstoppable champion is spamming his arc attack if it sees you. So I always just try to save my super for the next phase where the champion spawns. And this part is pretty easy. You just go around the map, you turn invisible when needed. Like I say, since I'm on top tree, I can just use a dodge if I need it. And for this one, I didn't really spam too much invisibility. I just kept going around in circles and then just see where these ads are. They're kind of spread out. I saw a Screeb. I'm like, no, not today. So definitely just keep running, especially the stalkers when you take them down. So next wave of ads, this is the second one, and the third one is the unstoppable champion. So now I'm just being super careful here. I have to turn invisible, go to my mini safe spot. They're not so safe, but it's good to take seconds to recover, especially if you spam your dodge a lot. I try my best not to use it too much because I will need it for emergencies. And yeah, I was just taking my time here. And like I said, when dealing with stalkers, they always spawn these Screebs, so you must be very careful, especially when they're following you. You don't want to shoot a Will-O-Horror and then a stalker melees you, spawns a Screeb, and then you die. Now that wouldn't be a very nice experience. I did hear ads following me, so I was trying to shoot Will-O-Horror in the ground. And hopefully I can clear down the ads and then deal with unstoppable champion. So everything seems to be alright, I'm controlling the ads, I'm moving around freely, I'm not really spamming the visibility. Nothing can go wrong. I saw a stalker trying to chase me. I don't trust him. He has a Screeb, I don't trust him. I don't trust anything in this Nightfall, basically. And something was shooting me. Something was following me very, very close. So I decided to just turn invisible. And of course my protective light was gone, so I was sad about that. I ran in circles. So the reason why I'm running around in circles here and there, I'm trying to find a good spot to use my super for the last wave. And I want to make sure I'm not standing on this area for the last wave to spawn. I pretty much did what I didn't want it to happen. So I quickly used my tether. And then take down unstoppable. Do some DPS, just stay here a bit, because if you do stand too long at one spot, then these stalkers are gonna spam void grenade and it's not fun. And then there goes the platinum run. Since the void grenades can one-shot you, which is not a fun experience, so I was staggering the unstoppable champion. and I had to make sure I am away from the will of the horde. At the same time, I was looking at the champion because the thing is, I have to be super careful. You know, this spot wasn't safe. I didn't like where I was. I didn't feel comfortable, so I decided to just pull back, run, use will of the horde, you know, jump, you know, stay away from will of the horde when stalkers are attacked. Well, if using DPS with will of the horde, just make sure you are not on it because the Screeb can explode on you and it's not a fun experience. So now I'm just trying to stagger, and a void grenade almost got me, so you saw there. It almost got me. It's not good to stand in one spot, especially when stalkers are still alive. So I'm just throwing a nade, staggering it, and just going around in circles. And this is one of the reasons why I wanted to use my super, so I can add control, the stalkers especially, and then I can see where the unstoppable champion is. So I saw him, he was a little far away, you know, he wasn't a big threat at this angle at the moment, so I was like, okay, everything looks okay, you know, he's far away, he's not close to me, so I can take my time to deal with the stalkers. But then they throw grenades at me and I didn't like that, so I was trying to see, like, I need to take them down fast, so I was like, okay, let me see if I can take them down over here. You know, the spot isn't so bad since there are a lot of cover, especially dealing with an unstoppable champion. It's always best to have as much cover as you can. So yeah, everything looked okay. You know, I was just double checking, making sure nothing can go wrong in this nightfall. And yeah, a lot of ads are following me, so you have to be aware that they can follow you, like this guy over here. I didn't trust him, so that's why I shoot a will of the horde in a different direction and then try to lure him to the will of the horde, and then the strat did work, so I was quite happy about that. So I wanted to throw a nade and I wasn't happy because if you see anything that's throwing nades, that means the stalkers are still alive. So I was just trying to see if I can take them down because they were so annoying. And then I think there were two more. So I was like trying to see, like, can I take down the remaining stalkers because they're following me, and then the unstoppable champion's following me. I was just saying to myself, okay, you know, everything seems okay, but it would be really nice if I can clear out all the ads first and then deal with the unstoppable champion. That was my idea for this phase. So finally I was able to clear down all the waves of ads, and then I can easily take down the unstoppable champion. Now for the next phase, there's going to be 2 waves, and highly recommend to know the spawns of where the ads are, because if you don't, then it'll be an easy death, to be honest. So right now I'm just trying to see if I can make this unstoppable move a little bit, and of course I was just taking my time because I don't want anything to go wrong. I mean, I don't trust this Nightfall. There's already a lot of bugs as it is. You know, I can't really trust anything. So I was thinking, like, maybe if I stand here and then turn invisible and go to the right side, you know, everything would be okay. But the bad thing about this, which I didn't know, is the boss was walking around a platform where I was standing, and it was shooting the opposite direction, but in the middle, in the front side. It was just awkward and weird. So I was browsing right? I was like, before I do anything, before I do DPS, I need to see where the boss is shooting. And he was shooting a weird spot. Like, I didn't like that. It was just weird. And then another thing I didn't like is he was walking on the platform. So why is he doing that? I didn't like that at all. I figure out that if I stand in that mini hiding spot, it makes the boss act like this. So I was thinking to myself, I need to make this boss see me, but without getting hit. You know, maybe I could make him stomp or something. And I was just trying to figure out what am I gonna do over here, because this boss is acting so weird. I mean, he's just walking so slow. He's acting very bizarre. And I didn't like it. I didn't like how he was behaving over here, because he was just behaving so awkward with me. And he's doing it again. I was like, no, I don't like this. I want him to shoot the left side, not in the middle of the map. But because I was there, it was in that awkward spot and I didn't like it. So I was like, okay, maybe this is not gonna be a bad idea. I mean, I can try to work it out. So yeah, this is really awkward. I didn't, like I said, I didn't like how the boss was behaving. So I was thinking maybe I should use my tether just in case. But then, of course, the boss saw me. I was like, okay, well, I guess that's good. So now I'm gonna make this boss stop and look at this direction so I actually can go to the ad spawn from the right side. So finally the boss is moving the direction I want him to do. So now I can do DPS. Finally, right? So as this spawns, I decided to use my super, for the heck of it, right? I was just going to the spot because I wanted to make sure I cleared out all the ads, and I didn't. I missed 3 of them, but it wasn't too bad. I mean, I cleared out the raiders, everything is alright. Of course, the boss saw me, so because the boss saw me, now I had to go to the opposite direction, so I had to go all the way back here and then just see what's going on, see if I cleared out all the ads before I can do DPS. Now during this phase the boss will tether, so I was just seeing where the boss is. So now this is gonna be the next tether, so finally, I can use Will the Horde, Tarantula. And then there will be an ad spawn from the left side. He was shooting on the direction I don't want him to shoot. So I decided to move the other side. It's like, okay, let's try this again. Right? Let's see if I can make him stomp. So yeah, this is basically the level of patience you have to manipulate this boss. And it could be annoying at times, to be honest. You know, I was trying to make him stomp me, but then he was moving the weird direction, and then I was like, okay, finally he moved the opposite side. So now I can actually, you know, do some DPS and get this run over it. So yeah, this is really fun, isn't it? So the boss is shooting the direction I want him to shoot, so now I can actually do some DPS. Alright, so once at spawn, I decide to dodge, move to the other side, and I was hoping that I can take down a couple of ads with Will of the Horde, but it didn't take down so much. They all went around my will. Seriously, I'm getting really bad luck. And then, of course, the boss saw me. I'm like, oh my god, the boss saw me. That's not good. I had to go all the way from the other side and then wait for these stalkers to push towards me so I can spam Will of the Horde. Honestly, this part really annoys me, especially when the boss sees you and then all these ads, all these scorns are now all over the place. And then we have this gold bar corrupted scorn which can melt you if you're close to it, which is why I'm away from him. And of course the boss is walking. Why is it walking above the platform? Why is it doing that? That is so annoying. I saw Stalkers. I was happy to throw nades when I was standing the other side, so yay for that. I was browsing on where the boss is going to be. He is looking for me. I didn't like that, so I decided to go to the opposite side and see if I can make him shoot over here and not the direction I want him to shoot. But as you guys know, I didn't take down the solar captain or the solar scorn, so I wasn't quite happy about it. And of course the boss saw me, so I gotta turn invisible and go to the other side basically. And I want to take down this corrupted scorn. So once I take down the corrupted scorn, now we can actually do some DPS for the final boss. So I was waiting patiently, making this boss move in the middle so I can take him down quickly and just get this nightfall done. I was already exhausted. But like I said, you have to do the last tether, and once you do the tether, then it is a good time to do DPS at the boss. So now I'm just doing DPS. He's gonna do the last tether. And of course I'm prepping everything. So I'm using Tarantula and then move to the other side. So then he used Thunder, which was perfect, so now I can actually do DPS at the boss and skip the last phase. So now this is actually going to be the final phase. He used Thunder, and now I can actually do DPS at the boss. So I was just prepping. There is a final phase where the boss, well, where the ads spawn in the middle, but it's not really worth it, so I want to skip it, to be honest, because this is when the boss starts spamming thunder, a lot of scorns, ads. It's not fun. I was having a hard time doing DPS with top tree hunters. I had to turn invisible, had to go a different side. I was like, okay, please be destroyed, please. So I was like, okay, I'll use Will of the Horde, and then finally we can take him down. And then finally I defeat the boss. So there you go, guys. We did platinum and we finally beat the Nightfall, and of course I meleeed him. I don't know why I'm doing that. I probably was pretty upset. I just hate this boss because it always kills me with the one-shot arc and then the Screeb, the tickers, all that. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.